On the morning of May 27th, last year, 17-year-olds Emily Carver and Ryan Lutz left their small hometown of Maplewood, Pennsylvania, for what was supposed to be a 3-day camping trip in Pine Hollow State Forest. Friends described them as inseparable. Emily, quiet, thoughtful, with a knack for seeing beauty in forgotten places, always carried a red Polaroid camera. Ryan, energetic, adventurous, often restless, was rarely without his skateboard, even if it meant strapping it to a hiking pack. At 9:43 a.m., security footage at Anderson's General Store caught their final confirmed appearance. Emily, wearing a pale blue sweatshirt, bought a bag of marshmallows. Ryan, in a black hoodie, paid for a small propane canister. They looked happy. No one could have guessed they would never be seen again. By Monday night, when they hadn't returned, their parents began to worry. By Tuesday morning, they were officially missing. Sheriff Dale Greer led the first operation. He later told reporters, "We thought it might be a case of kids taking a little extra time, but by day 2, we knew something wasn't right." The search began at the North Trailhead, where Ryan's Honda Civic was found parked neatly in the gravel lot. No broken glass, no forced entry. Inside, deputies found a gas station receipt timestamped 9:18 a.m., the day they left. Teams swept along the marked trails. Volunteers called their names into the dense green canopy. Drones scanned from above, searching for signs of a tent, smoke from a fire, bright fabric in the underbrush. The woods in late spring were damp and heavy with scent, moss, wet bark, and the faint sweetness of last year's leaves rotting into the soil. The search dogs struggled in the mix of smells. There was nothing. On the 4th day, a thunderstorm rolled in. Sheets of rain turned the ground to mud, erasing what little trace might have been left. After 2 weeks, the wide area search was scaled back. Sheriff Greer admitted they had no leads. Without answers, the case became a breeding ground for theories. Some locals thought the pair had run away. Emily's best friend told police she'd talked about wanting to see the Pacific Ocean. Ryan's younger brother said he'd overheard him arguing with their father the night before the trip about getting out for good. Others pointed to Pine Hollow's dark history. Over the past 20 years, 3 other disappearances had been logged in its boundaries. None were solved. Online, the Hollow 2 became a buzz phrase on true crime forums. Some posts were thoughtful, others were cruel. Emily's mother stopped reading them entirely after someone posted a fake image of her daughter with the caption, "Gone to another dimension." On November 19th, nearly 6 months after the disappearance, a bow hunter named Mark Ridley was tracking a deer along a granite ridge deep in Pine Hollow when he saw it. A flash of orange under wet leaves. It was a collapsed tent. Ridley later told deputies he almost walked past it, assuming it was abandoned gear, but something made him unzip the flap. Inside, 2 sleeping bags, unzipped, side by side. A red Polaroid camera between them, strap tangled like a looped cord. A small propane stove, its ignition knob smeared as though hastily wiped. 2 ceramic mugs with faint rings of dried cocoa. A cooler containing unopened hot dogs. Expiration date 6 months past. Nothing looked ransacked. No blood, no torn fabric, no footprints in the wet soil outside. "It felt like they'd just stepped away," Ridley said. "But you could tell they hadn't been back for a long time." In Emily's backpack, forensics techs found 12 Polaroid prints bound with a rubber band. The first half were cheerful, Emily making a silly face, Ryan pretending to roast marshmallows over an unlit fire, the 2 lying in the grass, hands linked, looking up at the trees. Then the mood shifted. The night shot of the tent, lit by a flashlight inside. Another, from nearly the same angle, but now a tall, indistinct shadow loomed just outside the flap. Emily's face, pale and startled, as if she'd been caught off guard. The empty clearing, taken from far away, the tent small in the center. A blurred image of Ryan, eyes closed, head tilted unnaturally to one side. Both Emily's and Ryan's fingerprints were on the stack. The mugs were tested. Inside the dried cocoa residue was DNA from an unidentified male. Not Emily, not Ryan, and not in any criminal database. Emily's phone, long dead, still contained a GPS record. The last ping was logged at 3:14 a.m. on the second night of their trip, 5 miles from the tent. When detectives hiked to that location, they found an overgrown logging road. At the end was a charred campfire ring surrounded by 3 sets of footprints, 2 matching Emily and Ryan's shoe sizes, 1 larger. The DNA and third set of footprints shifted the case completely. The runaway theory crumbled. Someone else had been with them. Detectives offered theories. A drifter passing through who stumbled on their camp. A person they knew who convinced them to leave the tent in the middle of the night. Someone who planned to encounter them. But with no DNA match, the identity of the third person remained unknown. Today, the case remains unsolved. Emily and Ryan are still officially listed as missing. Every May 27th, their families place flowers at the north trailhead of Pine Hollow. They rarely speak to each other. It's too painful, but they always arrive within minutes of each other. Last spring, another hunter found a water-damaged Polaroid wedged between tree roots near the granite ridge. It showed Emily and Ryan by their campfire, smiling. And just beyond the edge of the firelight was the faint silhouette of a third figure.